What's going on, buddy? I just got done watching Obi-Wan Kenobi Episodes 1 and 2 at the world premiere at Star Wars Celebration. I'll be talking tons of Star Wars Celebration over here, and if you guys are loving Star Wars, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below your guys' thoughts on Obi-Wan Kenobi. This will be a full spoiler review, so we have tons of greatness to talk about, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys along for the ride. So, let's start talking about this thing, because first off, just as my basic reaction, I loved these first two episodes so much. Now, of course, being in an atmosphere, seeing it on a big screen with a great audience does add a lot of that. But I'm about to put it on and watch these two episodes again, because it doesn't just contain some of the best aspects of the prequels. It really feels like Ewan McGregor just walked right back into the Kenobi role and never left. And it truly is a fabulous start to a series. And just these two episodes, one being around 45 to 50 minutes, and then the other one being a little bit shorter than that, still adding emphasis. And something that I was really impressed with was Deborah Chow's directing. Now, before we start diving into these main spoiler points that you definitely want to hear me talk about, we have a word from our sponsor. A lot of us are excited for Obi-Wan Kenobi and journeying back to a galaxy far, far away. But what if I could tell you could go on your own unique adventure to a land far away in Raid Shadow Legends? This is the best adventure you can get on the go in between weeks of waiting for those brand new Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes. Use my QR code or links below to download Raid for yourself to your mobile phone or PC to get your own adventure started today. Raid Shadow Legends just celebrated its 3rd anniversary as one of the top RPG games. Just a couple hours in, you can truly tell how great this game is by the way it brings quality with its quantity. You will always find something to do when logging in daily. With the Hydra clan boss, this raid is without a doubt the biggest, scariest, and hardest challenge, but it is one that I found myself addicted to completing, and so will you. But it really is the perfect game for all players, whether you casually want to jump in for a couple minutes and do a quest, or dive in for hours at a time. There's so much for you all to experience, and I invite you to all join the party and download Raid Shadow Legends in the link below. And there's a ton happening in Raid this month with some new champions, an update to Tag Arena, and a full schedule of special events and tournaments. But here's the main event. Raid currently is running a special Deliana chase event where you can get your hands on the amazing Deliana, a brand new legendary champion from the High Elves faction, just by logging in. All you have to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and July 20th, and you'll get Deliana for free. That's it. Deliana is one of the strongest support champions in the entire game, and it can help you carry your team past many of Raid's tougher challenges. You don't want to miss her. There's seriously never been a better time to even get started. If you use my link or scan the QR code right here, new players will get a free starter pack worth almost $40 to kickstart your game. The gifts keep coming, and all new players, listen up. Once you're in game, just head over to enter the promo code MyDeliana to get your hands on everything. Simple. Get 50 XP brews to instantly get your legendary hero Deliana to max level 50, as well as tons of silver. Once you're in and ready to have a ton of fun. It is that easy. Just click the link in the description or scan that QR code, and I'll see you in the game on our next adventure. Thank you again to Raid Shadow Legend for sponsoring this video. Again, without them, I wouldn't be able to attend Star Wars Celebration, and I'm just happy to be here talking Star Wars with you guys on a daily basis, because that's what I love doing. So, diving into this now, starting with episode 1, opening scene, just the Order 66 happening. I love seeing this kind of phase, and I love the era of Clone Wars and the prequels and everything in there. So seeing that opening scene was grand, but one thing that stuck out to me right away was right when that Jedi died and you see the kids run off, one of them looked just like the third sister Reva, which instantly got to me, and I went, okay, so this is what we're doing in this story. And that for me is very interesting to see that, of course, something happened from that point on to something going forward to why she must hate Obi-Wan Kenobi so much and want him to, again, go to Vader and all that sorts of things. And really much, she knows Vader is the Anakin Skywalker. That comes from episode 2. So again, we will talk about that. But just in that first episode, it was great. And then establishing when the Inquisitors come down, we get the Grand Inquisitor from Rebels, I think, because it looked like he died in episode 2. But maybe he didn't. But he shouldn't be dead yet. So this was an interesting aspect. Seeing the Inquisitors come down, and then Benny Safdie turns out to be a Jedi on here, stopping a knife being thrown at someone, them chasing him out. Then we come back to Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was so happy to get this. It just made my life joyful, and it was such an appreciative point, and something that I really much liked in this point of context and everything going on in this manner. But diving in from here a little bit deeper, one of the things that I really appreciated in this episode was just seeing the comparisons to a sense Logan. Logan, when we see Hugh Jackman in that film, he was very much a wanderer. In this, Ewan McGregor's kind of same thing, going about his life just living. He's just trying to survive and protect Luke from a distance. And as we are seeing this, of course, Uncle Owen does not want anything to do with him. He wants him to just stay out of his entire life. And what purpose does that bring to Obi-Wan, someone who vowed his life to protecting Luke? But also something that we've never really looked forward to is why was he not protecting Leia? And this story answers it, giving us Leia, who, young Leia in here, I think her name's Vivian. She is so amazing in this, and I loved it. She was the Star Stealer of this. When she popped in, I was like, okay, so we're doing Leia too. But she becomes a big point of contention in here, and something that I was very impressed with, and something that I overall just really loved, and I was impressed to see how that was all going about. She's adorable, she's cute, but there's someone watching her from a distance, and it's actually Flea as a bounty hunter, which ends up leading into this entire thing and just kind of sticking on that point. Of course, she gets kidnapped. She goes out. Her little Lola droid, I want like 5 of those. And then, of course, we head back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. But finishing and focusing on this story, Benny Safdie finds him. He goes, "You're Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm Ben. I don't know what you're talking about." And then he admits, "Go throw your lightsaber, go bury it in the desert, do whatever you must need." Comes back to town after work, sees that they died. But then it adds into this really interesting aspect before that, and something that I'm skipping right over, is when they are questioning everyone. When Uncle Owen throws the toy at Ben and was like, "We don't want you, stay out of our lives, like, we don't want you. Like, we are gonna protect us. You didn't protect Anakin," all these things. Which again ties into Kenobi at this point not knowing that Anakin Skywalker is alive and that he is Vader, which episode 2 brings us that. But diving in here, when we look at this entire aspect, and when they're questioning Owen, and you have that one Inquisitor who's like, you know, what are you doing, Reva? All these things, you're channeled by this. And seeing the Inquisitors bicker is one of the more interesting aspects. And I love that this story is very much 3 different stories overall. It's Princess Leia. It's kind of like a little young origin story for her. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's the Inquisitor Reva and the other ones and what that's going about. And I'm sure now we're going to add a 4th one going into episode 3, which will be Vader, and that's going to be awesome. Maybe we get a little bit more of a point from him. Maybe we even get some more flashbacks, which would be great, because something else we saw in this episode was the nightmares that Obi-Wan Kenobi has at night. How he failed Anakin. We even got a little bit of glimpse, all these archive footage of Natalie Portman, Hayden Christensen, and even Qui-Gon Jinn himself, Liam Neeson, which then he's asking for Qui-Gon, and I'm like, oh my god, are we gonna get Liam Neeson as a Force Ghost? Not yet. I still believe that's gonna happen. Really much like that scene. And I overall just really loved this first episode, because it comes down to, they're like, hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi, we need your help. Doesn't want to go. I'm not that Ben anymore. Comes and actually meets him. Then Kenobi goes and finds the lightsabers that he buried, which one is Anakin's and one is his. And he pulls the one out that's his. He buries the box, goes out, and he goes out on his journey to save Leia, something that I'm very excited about. Episode 2 opens up. They're on this cool neon-ish planet, which is really unique. And it's something that we've seen in the trailer, and it feels like everything that we've so far seen in the trailers has already been in these first 2 episodes. So now we're heading into unknown territory of what could possibly happen, because now in this episode we get Kumail Nanjiani pretending to be a Jedi. Obi-Wan's just trying to find this girl. Reva's trying to hunt down and bring out Obi-Wan, because she's the one that hired these bounty hunters, and adding into all this flair, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi being a badass. I like seeing him punch around and kind of just using his smart tactics that we know Obi-Wan has always been ready to use. And a cameo that I cannot forget to mention is, of course, when we get Tamara Morrison as a clone trooper. That was fabulous. For a second, I was like, oh, is that going to be Captain Rex? Oh, is that going to be Commander Cody? No, it's just a generic clone trooper, but it is something that sticks in Obi-Wan's head, and it was a great little cameo, something that just adds to the subtlety of the Star Wars world that I thought I just appreciated. But leading into this, he ends up finding Princess Leia. Turns out the bounty hunters are, they tricked him, hey! But he throws down the dust that girl put in, and he ends up taking them out, which was, again, something that I liked. Obi-Wan is a badass. That's what he is, but he hasn't even used his lightsaber yet. He was about to when Reva came out, but I like those elements. But now looking at this, they're on the run. This little girl, little baby Princess Leia, she's running away from him. Thinks he's a bad guy. Doesn't believe that he's a Jedi. All sorts of things like this. He's chasing her out, and there's a bounty on his head. Inquisitors are going after him. It's so fabulous. And I love how dark and dense this world feels. I love how this feels more cinematically like a movie than it does a TV show. And seeing how this all progresses. And then when he catches her with the Force, and how that leads into it. And Reva seeing that the bounty hunters are shooting at him. And then she's running, doing all this parkour to get over to her. Moses Ingram as well, fabulous in this. Then it comes down to where she goes, Obi-Wan Kenobi, come out. Because Kumail Nanjiani actually decided to help him, which I thought he was going to trick him, but he didn't. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. But then, of course, the Grand Inquisitor comes in. Starts yelling at her like, what are you doing? But before that, we hear her revealing Anakin Skywalker's alive, and Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor's face just seemed so broken in that moment. Something that I felt for in that moment. And I truly was saddened for him because of how sad he feels, how, he thought he died. No, he's actually Lord Vader. And elements like that are things that really impress me in this, is Ewan McGregor's performance. Because she's calling him out, but then she kills the Grand Inquisitor, which I can't believe that he died, because in Rebels, he dies in there. So maybe I'm getting my timelines mixed up or anything like that. Let me know what you guys' thoughts on that. Are they changing canon or are they not? I hope he's actually still alive so they can actually explain that. Maybe gets something put there and then Reva gets, executions towards that. Maybe she goes on her own. I have no idea what that is going to go there. But Obi-Wan and Princess Leia escape and it goes right there. And now, right at the end, we see Anakin himself, Vader, in the tube, already awake, and the audience in my crowd roared when there, and it ends right there, and episode 3 cannot come any sooner. Thank God we only have to wait till Wednesday, and I, again, just super excited for that. So again, guys, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as check out Raid Shadow Legends down below if you guys are interested. It is a really cool mobile app, and actually one that I was pretty impressed with. So again, thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with us all.